but some of us are participants. Some are participants already. Okay, so what we are doing is to add to your capacity, build you up, increase you up your game in the courier logistics management, supply chains management discipline. And we need you to all assimilate everything, ask questions in your whatever experience you have in the industry, whatever you have read, whatever you have heard, bring it here. Let's discuss it so that we can put together. That is the essence. And I want to see in 2 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, highly trained practitioners in this industry that are doing well. That would be my pride. That would be my joy. Not just the certificate alone, but of course the certificate also is worth it because CLMI is a great institution partnering with another great institution, Unilag. So you have all to gain and nothing to lose at all. So I wish you all the best. All right, so let me just go through the content of today's class. We are going to do the introduction, which is also necessary. From there, we talk about the definition of terms. We are talking about two particular terms here, courier and logistics. Last week, we talked about them, and then we say we are going to be talking so much as the class goes on. Then, what are the categories of key players? We move on to comparative overview of key industry players. Then we talk about the challenges that are facing the industry players. Then we draw a conclusion. We go room for question and answers, and then we call it a day. Okay, so I believe I have everyone together now. Is the lady here now? Okay, Freshmore Logistics. Is it a lady or a male? Freshmore Logistics, can we hear your voice?
I'm a lady. Good afternoon, everyone.
Wonderful. You're welcome, Freshmore Logistics. That's good. You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, introduction. The courier and logistics industry is one of the fastest growing sectors of the global economy. We said that last week. And it's not only one of the fastest growing, it's also one of the crucial industries that are enabling businesses, supporting e-commerce, and facilitating all businesses in terms of supply chain efficiency and connectivity. Because there is no business you want to do that will not involve moving things, moving people from one place to the other. And the discipline that facilitates that is logistics, transportation, supply chain management. That's why we say we enable other businesses. Other businesses need us to survive and to be profitable. So that is what makes this industry very, very important. And we said this industry is highly competitive and diverse. Highly competitive in the sense that we have different kinds of players in the industry that are competing for the packages, the goods, and the material that we want to transport. So if Freshmore Logistics, is doing well, obviously they will take over businesses from other logistics. That's why the competition comes in. And as we speak today, maybe I will have time to share with you that we have over 250 courier companies. Over, I didn't say 250, over. I have their list. I have their addresses. I have the names of their MDs and the rest like that are operating in Nigeria. Over. But of course, the majority of them are in Lagos. So all of this number of courier and logistics companies are struggling for the same packages, the same goods, providing the same services. So it now depends on how effective you are in the business. to make you competitive in the industry. So it's a highly competitive business because we are all struggling for the same goods, services. So I move on to the second one, which is the definition of terms. And now I said there are just two basic terms there. We need to start talking about the players we all know, okay? Players that are doing the clumps, we need to know them, okay? You may know some of them, but there are certain things you need to know about them, okay? Last week we talked about logistics services, supply chain, and then we also mentioned briefly courier services. Basically, courier services are specialized logistics services that deliver parcels, documents, and goods, bearing these four things in mind: speed, safety, track and trace, and POD. I believe you all know what POD is. Fresh and help us. What is POD?
Proof of delivery.
Thank you very much. Proof of delivery. That's it. And the thing that will make you more competitive in industry. You have to be able to guarantee your speed. That is, once you pick a package from me, you must be able to deliver faster than other people. If you are not, then you are out of business. So speed is one of the things that we look at in courier services. And we have various ways of measuring speed, okay? And the faster the speed, the more you pay. Last week, I showed there is something called same-day delivery. You pick a package on Monday, you deliver it on Monday. That's same day. For example, we have companies that offer that service, courier companies that offer that service outside of Lagos. Of course, it is easier to do it in Lagos. Pick same day, deliver same day. But outside of Lagos, maybe more challenging. But companies do it. I know a lot of companies that do it. They pick today and deliver in Abuja today. They deliver in Port Harcourt today. Deliver in Enugu today. Deliver in some other airport cities. Same day. But of course, there are certain things called standard operating procedure that you need to follow. As time goes on, when we delve more into courier operations, because we have that to deal with later on, not today, you will get to know more about that. Another thing is safety. Whatever you give to me to deliver, I must get it in the same condition to you. If by the time you are delivering my fan, my standing fan, it is now bending, now hooked, then you are not achieved it. Next time I won't patronize you. So I must receive whatever I give to you, or the consignee must receive whatever the consignor gave the courier company in the same condition that it was given. It must not be tampered with. Documents must not be tampered with. Then number 3, track and trace. That's another thing that a courier service must be able to provide. If I cannot track and trace my package, I don't know where it is at any point in time, then you are just, I don't know what to call you. You are just a driver delivering things. Like I mentioned last week, that somebody delivered something from me from Benin to Lagos and gave it to a driver, you know. Those ones you can't track them except you are calling the driver by phone. You can't trace, there's no technology to trace and track or track and trace. And then finally, POD. That's another thing that separates courier services from other forms of delivery. There must be proof of delivery, and until you POD, you have not completed your courier service job. There has to be proof of delivery. And of course, we know that there are exceptions in POD. And a very good exception is acceptable as a POD. And I'm sure we know what exceptions are. You haven't delivered the package, but you have a very sound reason why you couldn't deliver it. As we progress, I will give us a list of possible exceptions, about 25 of them that courier companies run with, about 25 exceptions, and it can be expanded, but standard exceptions, there are about 25 of them. So that's a segment of logistics that delivers documents, goods, speed, safety, track and trace, DOD. And then logistics is like the daddy. Like I said last week, logistics is the daddy, but supply chain management is the granddad. So, of managing the flow of goods, services, and information from origin to consumption, include the housing, circulation, and distribution. All of them come under. So, courier is part and parcel of logistics. All right. So let's move on to the categories of key players. Now, I have 6 categories here. Just take note of these 6 categories. I have to break it down to these 6. Though in practice, particularly in Nigeria here, you discover that you have just about 3. So you have the national, you have the regional, or some e-commerce. But I broke it down to this 5, almost 6, so that I have a broad view or a broader view of the categories of so the global integrated logistics companies. We have the national postal operators. We have the regional local courier companies. We have the e-commerce giants, in-house logistics. We have the forwarders and third-party logistics providers, and also technology-driven logistics startups. Now, I'm sure we all know that the regulatory for courier and logistics operation in Nigeria is NIPOST. I'm sure we all know. If you don't know, please take note of this. NIPOST. And there is a department under NIPOST that regulates the practices of courier companies. We call it Courier and Logistics Regulatory Department. It's a segment of NIPOST. And the headquarters is in Lagos. The NIPOST headquarters in Abuja. That department that regulates other logistics companies is in Lagos. It's in somewhere called Communication House at Lagos. Communication House on the 3rd floor. And luckily for us, our distinguished professor, Professor Meji, the chairman of CLMI, was the man that started that department. Then it was CRD. They have added L logistics. It was regulatory department. He was the one that set up the basics and ran it for several years, before he retired at CLMI. So that department is responsible for regulating operations and logistics operations in Nigeria and registering them. So all courier companies have a certificate obtained from CLRB. The current manager right now, also Pastor Dr. Shonde, is someone that Prof at the studio Prof trained. He's the one in charge now. So I'm sure pressure you have, and all courier companies must have a certificate from them. And the certificate you will determine area of your categorization, whether you're a global officer or you are a national participant. Your certificate of RTI where you are actually playing, where you are operating. Okay? And where you want to operate as a courier company will determine the amount that you will pay in order to pay the relevant certificate for your level. There are some that are global, they are found everywhere. And I have been fortunate to work in one of them for 25 years, and that's United Parcel Service. And I rose up to the regional manager of the supervising 19 states of the northern region. There are some that are just national. They can only be found within a particular country, not only in Nigeria, even outside Nigeria. They are only in their own country. But the global ones, they are found in over 225 countries. UPS, DHL, Federal Express, they can be found in over 225 countries, and they can deliver successfully everywhere. So your level of participation is determined certification, and your certification is determined by the amount you pay and the regular documents that you're able to apply for CLRD to register you. I'm going through all of this so that you will know what to do in case you want to start your courier company tomorrow, or you get employed in a courier company and you're in a position to advise your CEO on what to do to get registered. CLMI, can assist in that, provide consultancy services to register and do whatever you need to do. Get going. If you work with a courier company, or you get to work with a courier company that is not registered, that is not certified, CLMI can help you to get certified because it is illegal. CLRD is empowered by law to arrest whoever practices courier and logistics operation in Nigeria without appropriate certification. That is key, very important. So, having gone through these categories of key players, let us now go into the nitty-gritty to talk about and give examples of the players in each category. Mention where their headquarters are and what their roles are. You all need this. You need this that you can grow more in your knowledge of courier and logistics. So move on to the next. So we are starting with global integrated logistics companies. Can we move on to the next slide, please? We are starting with global integrated logistics companies. Like I mentioned before, these are the players in the industry that cut out different nations, the multinational companies. They provide end-to-end logistics solution, courier services, customs clearing, import-export warehousing, freight forwarding, including last-mile delivery. I'm sure we know what last-mile delivery is. You can deliver. Last-mile delivery. Okay? Basically, 3 miles of delivery. We have first mile. All of these things I mentioned, they are not in the lecture note. That's why it's good to attend classes. Even if you go to read later or you listen to the recorded version, you can't tell me that you mentioned that that's now, because even it's now that it just occurred to me that probably you need to know it. Now, there are 3 miles. We have first mile, we have second mile, and then we have last mile. You may have some miles in between, but these are the 3 major ones. The first mile delivery the one that goes from the main hub. It goes from the main hub up to the next major hub. Goes from the main hub to the major to the next major hub. For example, I'm going to use UPS, where I worked for several years as an example. If I'm going to deliver a package to Warri, the package will not move from Lagos to Warri. No. It will go in a bigger vehicle. And this will go in company of other packages that are going to some to the north, some to the southeast, some to some area west, and then some to the Warri that I'm going. So all of them will be loaded into that big van, starting from the origin, from the main hub. So they will travel together and land in our second hub, Benin. Then in Benin, some packages will be brought down. Those that are going to Port Harcourt, Enugu, Kaba, they will be brought down from that van and put in a smaller van that will go either Port Harcourt, go to Warri, go to Uyo, go to the other locations like that. That lane is called second mile because you broke the bulk. You are no longer taking the bigger van. You have broken the bulk into a smaller van. That's the second mile. However, when my package that is going to is in the smaller van that's going to Warri, that package is not going to be taken directly to where I address it to. No, it will first of all be taken to the destination hub in Warri. When you get to the destination hub, they will break the bulk, bring it down, and pick the package and to a small, could be a bike, could be a three-wheeler, could even be a food courier to this company to go and deliver. So it goes with my own package, and some other package is going to areas nearby and then deliver to the address. That's the last mile. The last mile is that segment of delivery that delivers finally to the consignee. The last segment of delivery that hands over the package to the consignee, who stands for it as the POD and receive it. That's the difference between first, second, and last mile. So these global logistic companies do all of that. They do first mile, they do second mile, they do last mile. They are straightforward. They do warehousing, clearly, and they cover several countries, over 225 countries in the world. I'll have examples of them. DHL, Dutch Post, UPS, United Parcel Service, FedEx, Federal Express. Let us limit it to that for now. It's not to say that other companies cannot deliver to other locations. They do, but they don't have the spread. What they do, because after leaving UPS, I've worked in other companies as the managing director, Smart Post. We don't have that spread. But when we have packages going to those locations where we don't have presence, we just go to DHL or go to UPS. We have already signed an MOU with them to give us a lesser rate. And so we hand over a package that are going to those locations to them. And so and they deliver for us. They won't deliver for us individual customers, but as corporate customers with a discount. And we too will be able to make a little from it. That's the strategy. So Pressmore, you can deliver anywhere in the world. Anywhere. Just have a partnership with DHL, with UPS, with FedEx, please, just go write officially that you want them to deliver for you. They will give you a heavy discount. And then you can take packages from your customers and take it to them. DHL will not go and tell your customer that they are the ones that are delivering for you. They won't know. Your customer won't know. They will still assume that you are the one delivering. What you do in this case is you create your own track and trace platform. As you are tracking on DHL platform, you are transferring it onto your own platform, and your customers are tracking your own platform. So when they are tracking, they won't see DHL anywhere. It's your company that they are seeing. That is the strategy. But of course, those companies that have the spread, have the presence, and are everywhere, they have huge hubs. For example, UPS has a very huge hub in US. They have a very huge hub in Germany. I was there. I was in Germany hub. I mean, the old airport was owned. It's owned by UPS. I've been to Belgium hub as well, to UK hub as well. So this country have large presence everywhere, and that's why we call them global integrated logistic companies. They are the richest players in this industry. Then what are their roles? They operate globally with a network. I've said that before. So they are multinational companies, and they can afford to transfer everywhere. Then they offer multimodal transport. They have air, sea, road, rail. These three we mentioned here, DHL, UPS, they have their own aircraft. DHL branded aircraft operating in Nigeria as we speak today. They move from Lagos to Abuja or Lagos to Port Harcourt. And that is the edge that they have over the other ones. There is no other one that has their own personal aircraft in Nigeria, apart from DHL. UPS don't have his own personal line in Nigeria, but he has in South Africa. And he has, South Africa and Egypt in Africa. Then the rest are in the other countries. The same with FedEx. FedEx is an airline in Nigeria, but they have in other countries of the world. So they have air, they operate sea, they operate road, they operate rail. In fact, for DHL, I started the real business when I was in Abuja. That was when they launched the Abuja Kaduna Rail, the one that had a problem. I entered that trade for a long time because I was doing a study to know whether UPS can start sending its packages from Abuja to the north through that rail, and it worked. They gave us a coach dedicated to UPS. So when our packages come, we just move them to the train station. We load the coach overnight. And in the morning, it takes off at 7 a.m. sharp. And we'll do 2 hours to Kaduna. Then Kaduna, our staff will be there, they unload. So it saves us a lot of cost and a lot of time, because what the coach will move, we will need at least a five to do it. What the coach will do, we will need a Mitsubishi Canter, 5 tons to do it to Kaduna. But the coach will do it. So it saves us a lot of cost, and then we're able to achieve time. So we run rail. Then it provides express parcel delivery and supply chain solutions. Those are the roles that those big companies play. Then move to the next one. Good. Boundaries of a nation. I'm sure we know that NIPO started the courier business to regulate other companies, and also there are also players. That is one of the areas that Nigerian players and participants in the courier business are angry with NIPOST. How can you be the one regulating us? And then you are still doing the same business with us. That you cannot be a regulator and at the same time be a participant, a player in this. You are going to be favorable to yourself. Because NIPOST also has a speed mill called EMS. I'm sure we have had that name before. EMS, their headquarters is in Nako, in Lagos, yeah. They do the same thing that courier companies do. NIPOST also have courier bikes. They run. There was a time that my company actually cheated them to run. Delivering everywhere. And NIPOST has an advantage over all courier companies in that there is no capital city that you can go to in Nigeria that you won't have a post office. And even in same cities, you have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, in Lagos here now, we have several post offices. Time I did a study on that, and I traveled around the country. I went to the west, I went to the east, I went to the north with my colleagues because I had a partnership with the NIPOST to do a business with them. So, for example, Lagos, we have post office in Agege, we have post office in Ikeja, we have post offices in Mushin, we have almost everywhere. So that is the advantage NIPOST has over other companies, VI, Ikoyi, and the rest like that. And so their bikers can take their packages to the nearest post office and they will tell you, go and pick your in the post office that is nearest to your house. Courier companies don't have, private courier companies don't have that luxury. Then we also have USP, United States Postal Service, works only within the United States. Mail works in UK, Nippon Post works in Japan. So if your operation as a courier company is limited within your country, you fall under national players in the industry. And then you get the requisite. Their roles, they ensure nationwide delivery coverage. They handle both letters and parcels. I'm sure we know the difference between letters and parcels. Then they compete with private courier companies, especially e-commerce. And that is right. Now, if NIPOST gets their acts right, companies like Jumia or Konga, because they're everywhere, they can serve proposal, to beef up packages of NIPOST in that area. That if you want to buy a phone from the remotest parts of Nigeria, you can and then make your order from Jumia here in Lagos or any other company that sells phone, and then give it to NIPOST and send it to the remotest part of the village, of the town. You that village to pick it. So they can play very well in e-commerce. But unfortunately, our NIPOST is not looking into that area for now. I'm hoping that one day, a general who knows what it takes to run courier business will be at the helm of and come to play. So that's talking about the national postal operators. So let's move on to the next one, which the regional and local courier companies. As the name implies, these ones necessarily don't cover the entire country because they don't have the capacity over specific areas. Specific areas. I'm sure you can see the example of the idea there. God is a transport company. And so many of them like that transmutate from companies to logistics companies. I also worked on years ago as the general manager. I'm sure we all know Ekene Dilichukwu Transport. Ekene Dilichukwu has or used to have a courier company. I'm still running now. When I left Courier Plus, I joined them as general manager. They call them E-Express. So, and with the little time I spent there as the general manager, I built that structure to run a courier because it was putting their parcels in their loads in their truck that overnight to go to the east or north. But when I got in there, I said you can't run that with courier. It's not possible. So we separated it, vehicles, bundles, and then we started a proper courier company called E-Express. Our head office was then at Maryland. I worked with them for quite before I left, and I moved on to higher things. So there are some that can't cover the entire country. They only go to maybe airport locations or meetings. GIG, for example, has limit of its reach. He cannot go to the remote villages. He has to stop at the city, then find a way of delivering to those remote villages. Same thing with RMX. I'm sure we have heard of RMX before. In the deep in Europe and delivery in India. These are localized. And those they provide flexible, concentric service. Then they specialize in last delivery, exactly, just last mile. That's a strong area. They serve as subcontractor for global players. Like I said the other time. Okay, global players can bring them in to say, okay, can you assist us to deliver in so and so locations? Or they can also apply to global players to help them deliver in other countries of the world. Then let's the next slide. E-commerce giants with in-house logistics. These companies are primarily e-commerce. I'm sure we know what e-commerce is. Electronic commerce, internet commerce. Companies that are doing buying and selling using the internet. Log on, buy on the internet, pay delivery, and then they'll bring it to your house. That is their job. That's their business. Initially, these companies were partnering with courier companies. When Jumia started, Jumia partnered with us in E-Express because the chairman of E-Express, Chibe, is late. Do you know his friend? I mean, he had a relationship with someone in Jumia. And so they gave us the business. We were doing the delivery for them. Eventually, they started their own delivery app. So nobody, I mean, Jumia delivers for itself now. They even have Jumia logistics now. They have gone, I mean, AYA. They have Jumia logistics. Okay, but their core business is e-commerce. I'm sure we know Alibaba. We know that as well. So their business is e-commerce, but they have, and they are getting stronger. They are even taking businesses away from the traditional courier companies now. For example, look at Jumia Logistics now. You know, they have vehicles. Though most of the bikes are not owned by them. Okay, there was a time I consulted someone who was servicing Jumia. He buys his own bikes. I think he had about 15 bikes, but he will paint them in Jumia color. and be delivering for Jumia and collect certain percentage for every package he delivers. That's what Jumia does most time. So most of the buyers you see behind Jumia or with the carrier and the box showing Jumia are not owned by Jumia. They are private people that are running businesses with Jumia and get paid by a percentage on every package they deliver for Jumia. What are their roles? They reduce reliance on third-party carriers. So when Jumia started its own courier arm, they don't deliver on us again. They don't depend on us again to deliver for them. They do their job by themselves. Even when I was in UPS, own arm. We're delivering for Jumia, but they have their own arm now. So they don't depend on third-party couriers. Then they enhance speed and customer satisfaction, yes, because they are not so large like traditional courier companies. They are not so large like UPS, DHL, FedEx. So the little that they have, they are able to manage it and bring in professionals to run it for them that can guarantee speed and customer satisfaction. Then they invest heavily in automation and AI statistics. They invest in app. They have app that works on phone. They invest on technology to ensure delivery. And I'm sure we know that there are several apps now that we used to deliver to guarantee you POD. By the time we get to real courier discussion, courier operation, you get to know all of this. Because there's something called HHD, handheld data capture. We started it in UPS, several years back when I was sent to Germany for training. That was the reason why I went to Germany. I was trained on the deployment of the handheld data capture. It's a DIAD, Delivery Information Acquisition Device, DIAD, that once you hold it in your hand, you don't need to cry again. Give it to the person you are delivering to. Key is tracking number there. Key is name there. And then use that thing to snap and give him a stylo to sign. He will sign. And the moment you sign and you press the send button, right where you are, the information about that package that was delivered will go straight to the mainframe. The mainframe of UPS is at UPS, is in the US. Every data collected everywhere in the world will go to the mainframe. And the moment it enters the mainframe, anybody across the world can start tracking. That is why track is possible with huge companies like that, because they have one server somewhere called mainframe, seated somewhere, where data everywhere enters, and then you can start tracking. That is the level to which courier logistics has gone to. So if there is a courier company that is still using paper, carry paper to do POD, sign here, then take it to the office. When you get to the place, you start type. No. Courier has gone beyond that. When we move on in this class, you get to know more about light. If you have questions, please note them down. Note them down because at the end, there's going to be room for questions. Just write them. We have the freight forwarders and the third-party logistics providers, call them 3PLs. 3PLs. These freight forwarders are basically transportation and storage logistics companies. Those transportation and storage. So for transportation, they have trucks, low bed, flat bed. They carry, I'm sure you see them carrying containers. Those are freight forwarders and 3PLs. That's their job. They don't deliver letters. For example, you can't carry letter to MDS now to deliver. I'm sure we know MDS. MDS is a department or it's a company under UAC. Their head office is in Oregon. I have worked with them before. Their head office is in Oregon. The same thing with GMT. So they don't carry letters, parcels, and the rest. They carry containers. And they operate from ports, whether seaport or airport. They bring items in large quantity. They also have warehouses of several dimensions where they store items onto the different locations. That's their business. So they also pay us in these industries. And when you are well satisfied and with connections with people like me and our people in CLMI, you can get employed in any one of them. And probably you already one of them. You can upgrade. You can upgrade. And so we have examples like MDS, like I mentioned, GMT, Equirators International, CH Robinson. There are so many of them, so many. All you need to do is just go to here, the DC port, Apapa, or thing like Island. You will see them there. So many of them. And you can also see the containers moving along the road. Their names are always written. So they are also players in this industry. And examples, there are rules. They call shippers with carriers. Who are the shippers? The shippers are the owners of the business that are brought to the airport or those seaports. So they bring connectivity between the owner of the business and then the people who are doing the transportation. Then they handle customs documentation and internet freight. You have an item coming from overseas in containers. You are shipping your vehicle. You just bought a vehicle. You want to ship it from Belgium to Nigeria. Just contact them. They will break the price down for you. They will help you to do your documentation. And they move the item for you on delivery. They also provide supply chain visibility and value-added services. What do we call visibility in courier and logistics? That is ability to trace and track your package or your item or your container online before it arrives. That's what we call visibility. Visibility is not in your courier and logistics business. Not many customers will patronize you or would your services, because your item, you must be able to know the location of your items from time to time. And then value-added services. Other services, outside forwarding, they can provide. You can provide storage for you. It's your package to be frozen at a level of temperature before you deliver. They will do it for you. During the COVID-19, we were able to use these services copiously because there are things that were important to keep under certain conditions of temperature before delivery. And if you take blood samples from here, elsewhere, you have to maintain a certain level of temperature before delivery. So that is the work of the freight forwarders and the third-party logistics service providers. We move on to the next level, which is the final. The technology-driven logistics startups. These ones are just coming up in Nigeria. And you have tools in Jumia, Konga, that are using high-level digital platforms to leverage their delivery services, AI, mobile apps for logistics efficiency. Okay, I'm aware now that Jumia, has an app of its own. that if you are going to work with them or deliver for them, you download the app, and then you can do whatever you want with the app. Or if you're a customer, you can even send your package, ask them to come and pick your package from the app. Other big players too, like UPS, DHL, FedEx, also have that. I mean, they also have the digital platforms to do all that. So companies like Jimmy and Konga are now technologically driven, and that is why they form a segment of the players in the industry. So they offer on-demand delivery solutions. What do you mean by on-demand? That is, they are the one that will ask you to come and pick. The customer will ask you to come and pick. They will alert you. I'm in so location. Please, I need a package to be delivered from my house to Lekki. Just go to the app, press the necessary button, go to the right section, and click. Before you know it, somebody will respond to you. And then before you know it, somebody will come and pick the package from you. So you don't necessarily need to take it to the office. So the idea of having express centers everywhere, littering our streets now, is no longer necessary. Because one of the things that we used to pride ourselves with in those days in UPS was that we have express centers everywhere. That every street you go to, you see UPS express center where you can enter, send your package, where you can go and pick your package. We used to pride in those days, because what you does is any person that leaves UPS business or retires, they will bring you and set up an express center for you, where you will be running, using your experience to run and make money for yourself. A percentage of whatever you deliver or pick up from customers goes to you. That's what UPS was doing there. So we have express centers everywhere. And we are the largest. Because don't express center now to go and send a package. I will just log on onto the app and ask them to come to my house. And before you know, you come pick and go and deliver. And on that same platform, I will see when the thing was delivered. I will get the POD. And I will pay for the services. So these are the kind of technology that are being brought into courier logistics now. I'm sure we deliver by drones now. This is part of it. Okay, but 5 years ago, the company I was working with then, we were trying to partner with INEC to deliver their voting material to some remote locations, River State, areas like Boni and the rest, where you can't go by road. You can't access Boni by road. It has to be by boat, by ferry. So we just thought we can introduce it to INEC. Let's import drones, put materials in them. Then we set it where it's going to deliver in Boni and other islands in River, But that didn't work because the cost was no more for INEC. They have the budget for that. But today, at the prices of drones coming down, and Nigerians are now getting probably producing them, I'm sure something that is doable in the nearest future, that we can deliver voting materials to far-flung locals by drones, so that elections be held as at when leaders are not waiting for election materials to arrive. Things are coming that will be offered that solution in courier and logistics. They offer on-demand delivery location, provide real-time tracking and digital platform. Real-time, that is, you are getting your track and trace immediately the job. In those days, You have to wait. Okay, you cannot start tracking now. Wait till the evening before you can start tracking. Because after delivery, somebody will carry paper to the office, to the client office. That's how I met UPS. Our couriers or dispatch riders have gone down to deliver. We will wait for them till the evening to bring where customers are to the office. And then they take to the client room. People are there that overnight. They will start clearing all those things manually. So when they do night, some people come and do day. That's what they were doing in those days. But technology has disrupted that now. With the use of delivery information acquisition, our couriers go out with. Now we don't even, they don't, companies like Jumia don't even use things. So that is big. They use mobile phone now. Your mobile phone, they just install the app on your mobile phone. And as you are going out, all you need to go with is your mobile phone or packaging that you have to deliver than your box. But digital information of those packages are already on your phone in the app. The moment you get there and you pick the package, add the tracking number into the app, every detail about the package comes out. The name of the consignee will come out there. And after delivery, you just snap the person. And you're right there at the delivery point. Information is being transferred into the mainframe. And then people can start tracking. So that's what they call real-time tracking. You're not waiting till tomorrow evening before you can start tracking. That is what technology brought into and logistics using digital platform. And then it disrupts traditional mode of innovation. That's exactly what I've said. A lot of disruptions are going on now in the courier and logistics industry by reason of technology development and of the traditional ways of doing things. Innovations are coming up gradually. And this is the area I'm actually looking into in my PhD thesis. I already have this in mind. I'm sure Emmanuel will be. Emmanuel introduced me as a PhD student of Cambridge University. You know, that's something I already thought before even coming into this. I want to look into technology. How can I use technology to do so many things? To disrupt all the things I did 5 years. Technology development. You know, so that is the area of my interest. And I'm already doing a lot of research to ensure that I contribute the body of knowledge, not only in Nigeria, but in the world. We move on to the next. We are looking at comparative of key industry players. We want to now, these are the key global players we are looking at here. We just want to focus our attention on the key global players. And we are looking at the company, their headquarters, their strengths, and their service folks. DHL. We know DHL is called Dutch Post. Dutch is Germany. Anything Dutch. A couple of years back, Dutch Post, that's a German post office, bought DHL. And they are currently the owner. So DHL is headquartered in Germany. And it is the global network. There used to be a rivalry between UPS and DHL in those days. You know, we in UPS, we always say that UPS is the best. DHL will say DHL is the best. But when I moved out of UPS and I started other smaller companies, MD in another company, and I now have an outside view of the everything. I now know that DHL is actually the biggest, the largest. Because, for example, I told you earlier on that DHL has planes, aircraft running in Nigeria. UPS don't have that for now. And not that UPS cannot afford it, but Nigerian market cannot support the profitability of the venture in Nigeria for now. It can't. This cannot make that venture to be profitable. But DHL can do it. And they are doing it. So DHL, the large global network, strong in express and freight, forwarding express, freight, and contract logistics. They are strong in all those areas. And the UPS, where UPS is head, UPS is strongest and the largest. The headquarters is in Atlanta. And so they have a strong US market. Global presence in small parcel, freight logistics. So in fact, small parcel is the business of UPS, less than parcels. They are stronger in Nigeria than DHL in that. When it comes to contract logistics like that, DHL is stronger. But for small parcels and letters in Nigeria, because when you look at most of the banks in Nigeria that are still doing delivery, like UBN, that's the Union Bank, UBA, First Bank, are delivering for them. And in the remotest location where you have First Bank or UBN or UB, and they're able to leverage on that connectivity out their spread everywhere. Then we have Federal Express. Federal is also based in the USA. They have a reliable overnight delivery, express parcel, e-commerce logistics. Then we have RMX. We mentioned RMX before. RMX is strong in the Middle East, UAE, and also in Africa. They have a very strong sense in Nigeria, but their top is regional Courier. The Amazon Logistics headquarters USA. They do e-commerce driven. They also do and automation. So to compare industries, factors, other things you compare them later on, not now, but when we deal with Courier operation. What volume DHL do? Volume you do? FedEx, I'm going to compare them. What did they do about 10 years? What volume are they in now? What is their percent in Nigeria? Other things you compare and trust, because I'm trying to develop a body of knowledge. Let's put this one. Now, to talk about the challenges facing industry players. The industry face a number of challenges, and I'm in a position because this is something I have been involved for several years. I have done work studies, traveled on road to several locations out of this job. Not because I had to go and deliver, but because I was working in the industrial engineering department of UPS before I moved to operation. Industrial engineering department of UPS is a department that looks into the running of the, how to make it quickly, how to engineer the process. What are we doing that we can do better? How can we develop the SOP, the standard operating procedure, and make things better and make the business profitable? So you see me and my team travel the time from Lagos, travel on the road to Lokoja, from Lokoja, stay a little bit, negotiate from Lokoja, go to Ilorin from Lokoja, fly the road, because you want to change our delivery time. How were we servicing Ilorin before from Lagos? We used to move a truck from Lagos, a bus from Lagos that will go to Ibadan. Another then from Ibadan to Ibadan, sweat to Ilorin and deliver. But before we get to Ilorin, it will be around 2 p.m. So we can't get our packages delivered in Ilorin earlier too. It wasn't good for business. That is what happening in UPS. Look at the problem. How can we improve on what we are doing? So there's no way we could get our packages picked in Lagos to be delivered early in the morning. The next day in Ilorin, it was a big problem for us. So I set to work. I did all the rounds. Lovely. I got to Lokoja, stayed in Lokoja, went with the vehicle that was going to Ilorin. Then was tired of it. We were delivering along the road, and then when we eventually arrived in Ilorin, I timed it for a week. We call it work study. And then I did the Ilorin too. And then I compared. I wrote my report. And from there, we changed our pattern of delivery from Lagos to Ibadan. Through we now begin to look then to Ilorin pattern. And because of that change, we became because our competitors were still doing the same thing that we were doing. They were still packages delivered in Ilorin at 2 p.m. But when we changed our pattern, I don't want to go into the details now, we were able to deliver far earlier than competitors. And we will do that for all locations where I see problem. I will go with my team or somebody else. Not to worry. Go to Maiduguri. I flew from Port Harcourt down to Abuja, following 90 miles, following Benue, and I came back all of struggles. So I know what courier companies face as challenges. Yeah. But the little I put here is something that will set you thinking. You can go and search rising fuel and push challenge. A big challenge because we are not flying yet. We have to move the road. And when you move on the road, your bigger vehicles will use diesel. And of course, you know, diesel is far more than PMS. Even PMS itself, what the price is in now. That's why when courier want to increase their rates or tariff, we call it tariff, and you are shouting, you for drivers. In their vehicles, they have to buy fuel and all put in the operation cost, and that's so enormous, so enormous. There are certain costs we call on-road costs. That is, the money given to drivers who are traveling. They don't come back to come and account for it. It is statutory, it's already there in the budget. You give it to them. When they don't spend it to, that's not their problem. You don't must give it to them because on the road tire may burst, and if tire doesn't burst and they see by themselves and tell that they have patched tire 3 times, so you have to give them that money. On the road they have to send police. I'm sure they do that for you, and they may not even send any police. That money must be in their hands. Anytime you see any driver going, you must give to them. Road experts on account of. They will come back and tell you that they will. You ask them, how did you spend your own road experts or your cost? What's your own road experts? No, because tire can burst anytime. Anything can happen to the vehicle. There could be guys on the road that are blocking the way, and I say until you and if Abuja and before when I was traveling with my drivers to Kaduna and the rest like that. So the operation cost is just enormous. And that is why those courier companies are finding it difficult now because of the cost involved. Fuel price is not joking at all. The price is rising and rising every day. And that was one of the main reasons why we changed our Abuja Kaduna in UPS to rail. When we did it, I was able to bring down our cost of operation in the north down seriously because we are not spending much on fuel again. and we could do much more. Rather than sending 5 vehicles to go and deliver in Kaduna, a coach will just take it once and for all. So courier companies are looking at all these challenges and think the ways that and crash course, but it is a major challenge facing industry players. Number 2, increase customer expectations for speed and reliability. Customers now want their packages to be delivered same day. And very few of them are ready and willing to pay the actual cost that will enable that to be done. If it's 1 day delivery, we should be ready to pay. But they don't want to pay. Yet they want the service. And people now start competing and looking for ways to reduce costs, able to serving the customer. When we started selling the opening in Lagos, when I was still in Lagos, in UPS, we put our cutoff time as 12 noon. That is, if you want a same-day delivery to Abuja, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Jos, most airport cities, your package must get to us latest 12 noon. Because we don't have an aircraft of our own. Even DHL that had aircraft, their aircraft will have taken off from Lagos at 7 a.m. to fly to Abuja. So if you are bringing your package at 12, you can't be that same day. We that we still use the airport, we have partnership with all airlines. There was Sosoliso in those days. There was Chanchangi. We had Arik. We had so many of them. We had them. So once we gather our packages, 12 noon before any package that comes after 12 noon, you cannot do same day for that day. Because you must arrive at the port. And the next available flight will hand over the package to it, and then they will go. The moment it arrives at our hub, that is how we work it. Customer bring package at 2 p.m. They want the delivery. It's not possible. That's a cut off. They say they will do it. Okay, shall go and do it, and then they will stand get them they perform magic. So when you find yourself in business and now want to perform magic, yes, they are willing to pay. These are the things that you are going to say. And they'll give it to one Baba Roscoe on the road who will say, okay, we will take it back, and the back will not deliver the piece. So those are challenges that we have. For those of your own standard, and you put to your own standard, no matter your level. When I was in UPM, because I want to wrote the start operating procedure for that say, you can't meet with the two whoever be president. Take your video. We cannot come and roast business. Except we want to do next. And that one is related from speed constraints across borders. In a big challenge. For those long involved in logistics, you will know that class that drivers must collect if you are doing interstate and vehicles do interstate. For example, if you pick up from Lagos and you are going to somewhere in the state, Akute there, it's another state. You expect to have the two. If not, confiscate your vehicle or your bag. Several times they confiscated beggar because the beggar negotiated. Several times you have to collect their paper, and their paper they will if you follow your Lagos back, it's none of their business. We just have problem also in serious problem. Worry has his own paper. You have to paper. So we around it actually. Okay? Which time permits me in our next class, I will tell you the way we were able to solve problem. In Jos, in Bauchi, different kind of regulatory constraints across borders. And the time that our truck delivering urgent items during the week, I was in the north then. During the week, well, we are delivering. We were during the COVID because we were delivering COVID for pharmaceutical companies. Drugs. was a particular drug from Lagos to be delivered next day under temperature condition. And customs stopped us around March. There was nothing we did not do. We called, we pressed button, we did so many things. No, that didn't fly until got the presidency. It was a vice president that was involved because our MD, the vice president, will now intervene, and you know. So these are the kind of things. Smaller companies will not be able to have that leverage. The cross borders is a big. Then competition from e-commerce platforms. So much competition now. No, we can't rule them out because they are players in the industry. They are players. In those days, you go to NIPOS, if you want to send your phone, your techno phone to your mom in your hometown, you go to computer village, you buy the phone, you bring it to our office, we package it for you, we send it for you, and your mom will pick up there. That was a practice. But these days, you don't need that. Just go to Jumia on their website. Buy whatever phone that you like and click send and put your address. You won't even need to leave your office. So it's taking business in the traditional way. We are not e-commerce companies. We are e-commerce. Our job is delivery. But because e-commerce platforms now get involved in what we do, they do their selling and then they do the delivery. The businesses are under stiff competition. Then technology disruption, automation, AI, drones, it's also a big challenge for small players. If you cannot afford it, they will push you aside. They will push you aside. And then you won't be able to continue business. You can afford it, technology is good. Very good. It enhances business. It makes business to run professionally with speed, though the cost has to be taken into consideration. Another one that I want to add here, which I didn't put, is bad condition of roads. Bad condition of roads is critical. It's a challenge for courier companies, and you will know why. Roads are bad. We are not flying. Even those that are flying, they cannot continue to fly. DHL cannot fly to Makurdi. What DHL does is Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. Once they pick from Lagos, all the volumes go to all those locations, anywhere in the net. They will take it to Abuja and drop it in Abuja. And then all the vehicles, all the packages go to the east from Abuja, they will pick it and take all of them and fly it to Abuja, to Port Harcourt. And then take all the packages from Port Harcourt, all those locations from and bring them to Lagos. That's the way they were doing it. So it's still on the ground that the packages will reach the other sub-hubs. So road condition is very, very important as a challenge facing this industry. You find trucks on the road for several hours, but we have ways around all of this. Anyway, when there is a breakdown, every courier or company must have another pump vehicle that will quickly go to where that broken down vehicle is, transload and move, because your package cannot wait. It cannot, or else you'll be out of business. There are several ways that we have written in our SOP, standard operating procedure, to mitigate all these challenges. Let's hand up so that we can give room for questions. Next slide. Conclusion. And see what the conclusion says there. The courier and logistics industry is shaped by diverse players, and we have mentioned the diverse players, ranging from global to local and startups. each of them contributing to the efficiency of goods movement. And you need to understand these players as stakeholders, as students, as future managers that you are, as practitioners in the courier and logistics business, as professionals. We need to have this understanding so that we'll be able to identify the opportunities, the innovation, the growth, and the challenges inherent in the business. Because it is in identifying the opportunities and the challenges, and providing solutions to the challenges that will make you the real professional. Thank you. That's the end of it. I have some questions here we will take home, and I'm sure the coordinator has told you that there's going to be exams. So look at all of these questions, try and answer them based on what I taught. You can move to the next slide on review questions. Yes, those are review questions. Once go look at these questions, review them, study them, try to provide answers to them. It will help you in your understanding of the lecture. And then who knows, you may have to answer these questions during the exams time. Thank you. I would like to have your questions now. Hello, we are now 6 in the class. Boluwatife, myself, Emmanuel Cole. Oh, another Emmanuel Nosoya, and Preshmore Logistics. They will have a coordinator there. So let me have questions from you guys. Let me have an idea of what you have. Any area where you need clarifications or whatever comment you have. Okay, yeah. Can you show the review question? Yeah, you have been shown. Somebody, Boluwatife asked if we can show the review question. They are there. So those are the review questions. Study them, answer them. You don't tell me to answer them for you. Because I've decided to be giving you review questions at every lecture. So because in trying to answer the questions, you will have a better understanding of the subject matter. And then who knows, your exam question may come from all of these questions. So any question, please? Preshmore Logistics? Emmanuel Cole? Yes, okay. Preshmore, yeah, okay. Any question? Yes, I know you are. I know you are. Any question? From what was taught today?
Now, sir.
Yeah, the question is
have you, okay, sorry, Emmanuel. Have you, Preshmore, have you watched last week's lecture because you were not around?
Truth be told, no, sir.
You have not?
Yes.
You need to do.
Yes, sir.
You also need to do. Because you were not around.
Do that, sir.
Good.
Yes.
Any question, bring it up so
Thank
that we can
you so much.
clear it. Boluwatife, you want to say something? Have you watched it?
I said I've started the
Andy?
come on. Huh?
I didn't hear Boluwatife.
I said I have started. I'm yet to complete it.
Okay, you started, you are yet to complete. Okay, please do this within this week. so that you don't have a carryover of so many things, because another lecture is coming next week. So try and clear the backlog, yeah, so that we can all move together, okay, on the same
All
pace.
right, sir.
All right, Emmanuel, you wanted to say something?
Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. But my question is just based on what you said earlier. When looking at when looking at all these the challenges in the industry, I'm looking at, as a starter, if you want to start, how will you be able to, with over 200 and something thousand in town, of Korea company in town, how will you be able to start and meet up? How will you cope as a starter?
That's a good question. Thank you for that question. And I want to say that I have been there at all levels. I started from a well-established, like UPS, that I've been here for long, and then I've moved out to even start. Okay, I'm sure you've heard of Courier Plus. I was in the management team that started Courier Plus. So when it comes to starting a business, I was there at a bigger level or starting at a very small level. Though Courier Plus, we started at a very high level because we received financial backing from Intercontinental Bank then. It was actually owned by Intercontinental Bank. Intercontinental Bank, that's Erastus Akingbola, if you know the name, gave us 250 million in 2009 to start Courier Plus. I was the pioneer business engineering manager. And then later on, I became the operation manager. So, but that was at a higher level. We had the money to run with. Money wasn't our problem. We bought cars for ourselves. We bought trucks and the rest. But starting as a small lead, like Emmanuel has said, you have to start, first of all, know your pocket. How much do you have? That's the starting point. It is how much you have to start with that will determine the level at which you are starting. You don't have to start big. You can start small with just one bike. One bike. You don't have to start with 5 bikes, 10 bikes, 15 bikes. No, just one bike. Once you have a customer, dedicate that one bike in your sitting room. You can start from your sitting room, but you must have a bike because that bike will sell you. You cannot have 1 or 2 foot couriers, guys that will be walking on foot with their bag and then entering public transport to go to Akongbon, to go to VI, to go to Ijegun, to go everywhere to deliver for you. We call them foot courier. We are going to get into that when we deal with courier operation. So start small, but you must have a bike because that bike will show when it is going, it's well branded. Your box at the end on your carrier will be well branded. Write it there. Emmanuel Courier Services. Write it there. Even if it's only one bike, be using that to deliver and get food couriers who are going to be moving with public transport to deliver for you anywhere. I know of a guy that I consulted for who was delivering, who had a bike and was delivering for an eatery. An eatery. He just passed the bike there. That's where he started from. Today, he owns several fleets. He just parked his bike there. And so if there is an order from that eatery, they will put it in his bike. He will ride it. He was one of my guys in Courier Plus. When he was out of job, he got a bike. And he told me, "Oga, what can I do?" And I connected with somebody who owns an eatery somewhere, one of my sisters. And so if there is an order, they will put their food in his box. he will ride his bike to go and deliver it. So he was doing it for that company. Later on, other companies started calling him to do it for them. And then he started owning several bikes. The guy is made today. So start small within the limits of your resources. Get a bike. The bike will be okay for your business to run efficiently, and also will publicize you, will advertise you. And then you can have food couriers who can be doing delivery for you, and then you are paying them stipends based on what they deliver. And then from there, you can go on. Okay? You may not invest heavily on technology now to be doing app that they will install on phone. That may be too much for you based on the humongous resources involved to do that. You can still start with your delivery sheet. You can get people to do delivery sheet for you. I can design a delivery sheet for you. CLMI can design a delivery sheet for you. Take it to printer. They will print it for you in a booklet form. They will print it in triplicate. The first page will go with the package to go and deliver. The second page is what you are going to use to do invoice. The final page is what you will keep with you in the office. It will remain in the booklet. 3 pages of delivery sheet. It will be carbonized. As you are writing on one, it will be shown on the other 2. The fourth one will go with the package. Still do your paper. There are so many ways you can manage, okay? And then when you start growing, you will start adding to your fleet. You can start investing in technology, doing buying mobile phones and installing app on it and using it for delivery. So that, and then if you have packages, I have a guy now. Thank God you even asked this question. I have a guy that was working with me. I was using him to deliver in Abeokuta. He called me just last week that, sir, my company in Abeokuta now is growing. I was working with one particular company. I don't want to mention that company, but they disappointed him. He was asking me, who can he partner with that will help him deliver his packages elsewhere in the country? Because he has some companies in his own local area in Abeokuta where he's picking up from. But he needed somebody that he can be handing over his package to go and help him deliver in Abuja, help him deliver in Port Harcourt. He wants that from me. So I can recommend people to, and I did. You can do that. You don't have to spend money delivering. Partner with other companies that are doing this everywhere, that are reliable. Just go and meet the MD. Tell them that you have a courier company of your own and you want to be able to deliver everywhere. And you have known their story and you want to leverage on their capacity. They will give you a very friendly tariff where you can still make your own money. Your customer will not know that they are the one delivering for you. So there are so many ways you can just, walk around it and not allow these challenges. So when you do that now, the problem of roads is none of your business. It's your partner that will be suffering, that will be doing all that one. The problem of regulatory constraint is none of your business. They are the one that will you are not leaving your stable. The guy is not leaving his Abeokuta now. It's others that will be doing all that. They will just put it as part of their cost and they will assimilate it. They won't pass the cost to you because it will just flow into their own volume. And then you are making your money. Cool. And then your fuel will be minimal. It's only one bike you have. The other guy that you have, 2 or 3, you are sending one to go to VI. You are sending one to go to Ikeja. You are sending one to go to Ijegun. You are giving them transport to enter transport. They will put their packages in bag. And then they will go and deliver and come back home and render POD to you. So many ways that all of these challenges will not destroy your business. You can start small, grow from there, and become very big. That's my answer to you, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much. Very, very well understood. I love the explanation. I love the idea. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
All right, there. All right. So, any further question before we call it a day? Okay, since there is none, just the question I will have asked you are these review questions. Please go over them. So, because in trying to answer them, it will open up your minds to some other things in the lecture that had just been delivered. And then if there is anything you still want further clarification, you can just bring it up later on. And who knows, this may be a fun part of the question you answer at the end of your at the end of the term or semester. All right. From my side, I think it's I'm okay. Over to you, Simon Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, sir.
Right.
And that was a wonderful, beautiful explanatory end from you, sir. And in respect to the review questions, do you mind them submitting it in the platform, or they should keep it on hold, sir?
Pardon? No, I'm not asking them. I'm not giving it to them as an assignment.
Okay.
No, let them just go and study it.
Okay.
Yeah, let them just study it. Maybe from next week there's going to be assignment, because we need to be giving assignments in the class so that it will put you on your toes. Okay, to put you on your toes. But for this one, just go and study them and put them in your file as likely questions for your exams.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And I've been getting comments from all participants, and they've been attributing to your, okay, Mr. Freshmore said, nice advice, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Also, Mr. Aji, okay, Buluwati say thank you very much. And okay, thank you very much for today's, and to all participants. So for everyone who missed the class, well, you missed, but also the recording session is not going to be like the live class, obviously, which we all know. And I'm going to say a wrap for today. Thank you all for coming in. Please, next week, let's try as much as possible to key in on time so that we can have more time to learn. So in that notion, I would like to call on Mr. Emmanuel Ono Sonia. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, before we pray, last week we are reverting to our usual time of 10 a.m.
Yes. So next week it's 10 a.m. to 12. Not 12.
Yes.
So from next week, we'll revert back to our usual time. So Mr. Ono Sonia, are you there, sir? Okay. Mr. Anosoya, I think he is having response from him. So let's move on. Okay. Buluwatife, can you just give us a rounding closing prayer of today's session? We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. In Jesus' name,
Amen.
I thank you. We appreciate you and we bless you for this wonderful session to be exalted in Jesus' name. We thank you for the you use for us. We thank you for the wisdom given us to be exalted in Jesus' name. And we also thank you for this transmit and so that the Lord give in Jesus' name. And next we are making things
Amen.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark, for that. And have a blessed Saturday. And happy married life.
Thank you.